All right. Hello, everybody. This is CIS 370. This is our group presentation. I'm presenting with Brian Kosler, Samuel Samplors, Manuel Hinojos, myself, and Isabella Gray. Next slide. So what is RPA? RPA, or robotic processes automation, are used by businesses to eliminate mundane tasks. This allows workers to focus on high priority tasks, such as focusing on a high volume value clients and allowing RPA to take care of small tasks. RPA calls for proper design, planning, and administration if it is to facilitate business operations. Operator can help customer questions, such as an operator system which can listen to human voice and answer questions. Automate ticketing systems, such as looking at a customer's order and issuing refunds. According to IBM, robotic process automation infuses artificial intelligence with capabilities of integration and interfacing with applications in a low-code manner to take those desired actions. Next slide. What are the enabling technologies of RPA? RPA can read emails from senders, read subject lines, and take actions accordingly. This is IA implementation. It could also transfer data errors, and those data errors will be eliminated. Finance values would be accurate from customers, thus IT would not have to get involved and update any databases behind the scenes. RPA is the use of software, IA, and machine learning. And these are some popular companies or RPA tools: UiPath, Blue Prism, WorkFusion, and Automation Anywhere. Next slide. What are the advantages of RPA? RPA can configure software or robotics to take a hold of and interpret applications for processing transactions. CIOs want to implement RPA to reduce cost of labor, again, so that workers can focus on higher value tasks. It also reduces human error. Human error is eliminated, for example, when it comes to data entry and transfer. RPA software market is expected to grow from 2.4 billion in 2021 to 6.5 billion in 2025. It also calls for a higher ROI, or return on investment, every quarter. Also, less use of IT provides error-free output, which also equals customer satisfaction. So these are the growing industries which have adopted RPA, such as banking and finance, IT integration processes, human resources, insurance agencies, marketing and sales, CRM, or customer relation management. Next slide. There's 4 stages of RPA, which include planning, which is basically gathering processes to be automated, identifying test objects, finalizing implementation approach, development, the creation of automation workflows, deployment and testing, which involves detecting any outages and bugs, and finally support and maintenance, which is continuous updates for smooth operation of RPA. And I'm going to pass it on to the next person.
Can an SME take advantage of RPA to improve its competitiveness? I would say yes, they could. SMEs usually consist of a small staff being around 500 to 1,500, but depending where you are from, that number could vary to being bigger. They tend to be on the smaller side of business, even when it comes to revenue and profit. Regardless the size of SMEs, they are very important to the overall economy, no matter where they are still a business. SMEs allowing help from RPAs could make a lot of their functions run smoother by letting robotics handle them. RPAs could handle chains and inventory, store planning, management, and so much more. RPAs doing all of the extra tedious work for employees to work on other tasks, making their overall business more productive. RPAs can help improve SMEs' competitiveness by incorporating them more into the operating systems. There is a reason why the business is wise, because they need the least amount of human interactions to be able to keep things running efficiently. An example of this would be a cleaning business. A cleaning business tends to be small and have a build of loyal clientele to function. This means that there are low staff for cleaning and operations. A good way that a business like this could take advantage of RPAs is by using inventory management, CRM automation and ERP automation as well. The next slide, yeah.
Okay, so blue-collar robots are able to reduce the amount of people needed for arduous tasks, such as lifting and so forth. But RPA for white-collar work is different in the sense that it is used to replace small, repetitive tasks. White-collar expertise on a subject is still needed, whether that would be in figuring out how to effectively use tax breaks or coming up with marketing strategies that may require a more human touch. Let's move on to the next slide. So the question is, will RPA bots remove the majority of white-collar work? The simple answer is no. The reason for this is there is still a need for humans' cognitive abilities. One example is in bank reconciliations. There's a need to automate this process so that the bank and the ERP system of an organization can work more cohesively. But still, there needs to be someone to double-check the missing items, such as a mismatch of a check that is deposit in transit. Still, the automation would have the process for accountants, giving more time for subjects that are more important to the company. And that would complete this slide.
Okay, the process that we chose to go with here is the onboarding process for new hires at Dick's Sporting Goods. This begins with the acceptance of an application and a welcome email. After the email, an interview is scheduled with the store manager where they will continue either with an offer of employment or rescind the offer. Should things work accordingly, they try to figure out how soon can you start so the first day can be scheduled and the proper resources are available on that day. Now that the employee has been accepted into the company, new employee documentation needs to be added into the software. This entails taking the bulk of personal information given on the application and manually transferring it into the employee database. The information needed would also include scheduling their availability based on time slots agreed upon by both parties, as well as placing them into their respective departments that they are hired to work. From this point, planning their schedule requires the managers on hand to manually see what departments need coverage that both meet the new hires' availability and compatibility to work. Per Dick's Sporting Goods Customs, the analytics of consumer spending is used to map out which departments need a certain amount of people at a given time to make the schedule more efficient. Some days there are X amount of people that come through our bikes departments, and those days we require to have 4 people in the department at a time instead of 1 or 2, and that's just how they try to make it more customer friendly for customer service. Managers manually make these schedules fit the analytics, as that is part of their own grade within the company for efficiency and effectiveness. The orientation and training would take place one after another on the new employee's first day. And the first couple of weeks would be part-time to see how they're able to adjust, handle, and adapt to the new work environment, as well as serve as a trial period. After this first couple of weeks, management will perform a checkup/review that will clear the air on how the new employee is performing compared to standard, and if there needs to be any changes moving forward, leading to the end of the onboarding process for new hires.
Now, how RPA is applied. For the onboarding and scheduling process for Dick's, it should be carefully integrated between HR and IT, going over the specific processes that may be needed to get the job done so that there will be no hiccups in the midst of actual implementation and workflow. One of the RPAs that could be applied is Lena AI or IBM Cloud Pak for business automation. There are also RPA bots that help in scheduling, which will reduce the time of managers in going through each individual employee and moving them accordingly. With the bots, it will learn the process it needs and perform them regularly without too much hassle, as it would understand conflicting schedules as well. Thank you for listening to our presentation, and I hope this added value to learning about RPA.